they wanted something desperately, and a deal was made. And the culmination of that entire deal, that whole process of his entire career, now unfolds this weekend in theaters around the world in Batman: The Dark Knight. At a news conference in 2007 Venice Film Festival, Heath Ledger spoke of his desire to make a documentary film about the British singer-songwriter Nick Drake, who died in 1974 at the age of 26 from, wait for it, an overdose of an antidepressant, the very same cause of death officially attributed to Heath Andrew Ledger. Ledger created and acted in a music video set to Drake's recording at the singer's 1974 song about depression. The song was called Black-Eyed Dog, a title inspired by Winston Churchill, also connected to royalty, by the way. It was his descriptive words for depression, Black Dog. It was shown publicly only twice. First at the Bumbershoot Festival in Seattle, Washington, held from September 1st to the 3rd in 2007, last year, and the second time as part of A Place to Be, a celebration of Nick Drake, with its screening out there. Drake, including Ledger, sponsored by American Cinematheque at the Grauman's Egyptian Theater in Hollywood on October 5th last year, the second place it was shown. After Ledger's death, his music video for Black-Eyed Dog was posted on the internet and excerpted from news organizations and used in news clips distributed via YouTube, because that's what YouTube's for, to get the message out. This should also interest you, especially if you're a baby boomer. This should open your eyes to the meaning of the song Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. Heath Ledger was also working with the Scottish screenwriter and producer Alan Scott on an adaptation of the 1983 novel The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis. He was planning both to act and to direct in it, and would have been his first feature film as director, but he never got a chance. In the New York Times interview with Sarah Leal, published on November 4th, 2007, last year, Ledger stated that his recently completed roles in The Dark Knight and I'm Not There had taken a toll on his ability to sleep. He said then, "Last week I probably slept an average of 2 hours a night. I couldn't stop thinking. My body was exhausted and my mind was still going." At that time, he told the interviewer, that he had taken 2 Ambien pills after taking just 1, and it didn't do the job. He said he took them and they left him in a stupor, only to wake up an hour later, his mind still racing. That's my proof. Heath Ledger was a mind control victim. More on this coming up on A View from Space on AM 640 Toronto Radio. A Monarch slave, Heath Ledger. Before he came back to New York from his last film assignment in London in January of 2008, just days before he died, while he was apparently suffering from some kind of respiratory illness, he supposedly complained to his co-star Christopher Plummer that he was continuing to have difficulty sleeping and taking pills to help with that problem. How often have you heard that out of Hollywood? Confirming earlier reports, of course, that Ledger had been feeling well or hadn't been feeling well on the set. Plummer said that we all caught colds because we were all shooting outside on horrible damp nights, but Heath went on and on with his cold, and He didn't deal with it immediately with antibiotics. Plummer says, I think what he did have was the walking pneumonia. On top of that, he continued that he was saying all the time, damn it, I can't sleep. He was taking all these pills to help him. See, it's that part of the spin for the public's consumption that I'm not buying. He was a monarch slave, a mind control victim, manipulated by men, their symbols and drugs, and used until he died by Hollywood. In talking with the Interview magazine after his death, Ledger's former fiancée, Michelle Williams, the one he had the daughter with, also confirmed reports that the actor had experienced trouble sleeping. For as long as I'd known him, she said, he had bouts with insomnia. She said he had too much energy. His mind was turning and turning and turning, always turning. I'm not buying that either. A man who's like that is possessed, troubled, a monarch slave, someone under mind control. Sleep deprivation is a great way to control people's minds. At about 2:45 p.m., that's a hidden 11, by the way. 4 and 5 are 9, and 2 are, of course, 11. On January 22nd, an obvious double 11, Heath Ledger was found unconscious in his fourth-floor loft apartment at 421 Broome Street in the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan. Emergency crews arrived soon after but were unable to revive him. He was pronounced dead at 3:36 p.m. Notice the time of death, 3:36, a 12. A number only given to royalty. It breaks down to a 3, you see, because 3 is the royals' number. At 3:36, he was pronounced dead and his body removed from the apartment while crowds of onlookers began gathering outside throughout that night. And, of course, there's the Olsen twin dilemma. What was she doing there? Why would he call her if he was in trouble? Or was it the Olsen twin that delivered the message to the Kabbalists in Hollywood that the deed had indeed been done, and the pact was finished, the price for his fame paid, and he took a drug overdose and died? Or maybe Miss Olsen played a larger role in administering. No one will ever know for sure. This is AM 640 Toronto Radio and a view from space. Back with more.
The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of AM 640. Extreme radio for extreme times. This is A View from Space with the Spaceman on AM 640.
Spaceman, AM 640, Toronto Radio and a view from space. Like to email me, got a comment or some information, spaceman at 640toronto.com, or space, just simply space at 640toronto.com gets you through. I've been talking about Heath Ledger. His meteoric rise to fame is possible. I believe it was a pact with the devil, and the pact expired January 22nd at 2:45 p.m. 2008. Heath Ledger found unconscious in his fourth-floor loft apartment at 421 Broome Street, the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan.